Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta. It's Chris from HHlegacy.com. A little bit of another impromptu sort of Topher's log for you today. Unedited, unfiltered, just straight through, talking for a few minutes about this past Thursday's announcement. Of course, we already had Jack and Oddfellow, Chaos and Control. That was done at MegaCon. And on Thursday, we had our second announcement, which is Sinners, Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Great film. Oscar-winning, Academy Award-winning horror film, Sinners. I loved Sinners. Sinners was a unique sort of, take on vampires and has all sorts of subtext about culture, African-American culture, music, just an incredible, incredible horror film. I love Ryan Coogler. I think Ryan Coogler is he's not only a really good director, but he's got a very good sense of like genre filmmaking. So like horror, sci-fi, and just general filmmaking, on its own, such as, his, Creed films and stuff like that. I've only seen the first Creed. I haven't seen Creed 2 or Creed 3. And I know, didn't Michael B. Jordan? I think he directed the last Creed film, but Creed 3, whatever it was called. And also Ryan Coogler is going on to reboot The X-Files, which I am very much looking forward to seeing what he has to do with that. We've already got some cast members, of course, and Gladys has been cast, Amy Madigan, Academy Award-winning actress Amy Madigan for Weapons. It was a good year for horror last year. Looks like this year is going to be a good year for horror again in terms of movies and cinema, but I digress. Let's talk a little bit about Sinners. I as much as, with all that being said, I do like the idea of Sinners coming to the event, but I do have some, of course, worries and concerns. What is this going to look like? I know there's all sorts of criticism about, because Sinners, basically takes place in one location. It's in the barn, and the vampire stuff doesn't really take over the entire film. Sinners is a long movie. It's was it 2.5 hours? It's a long movie, but the vampire stuff doesn't exactly happen for a lot of the film. It's a small part of the overall narrative of Sinners, but it fits in with what they're trying to do in that film. My other concern with Sinners is that it turns into just like a rehash of The Darkest Deal. Maybe they, wanted to do The Darkest Deal, and then they were able to get their hands on Sinners, and they were like, "Yay, Sinners!" But I digress. I am looking forward to seeing Sinners at the event, but I do have one or two reservations about how they actually pull it off. Obviously Sinners has some of the same criticisms that, say, The Exorcist had, which was, how do you do The Exorcist? Because it all takes place in one location, or most of it does. Sinners is kind of the same thing, but I think Sinners has another sort of hurdle to sort of overcome, which is that how do you interpret the vampire stuff when the vampire stuff, basically is just a small piece of that overall narrative of the film. But nevertheless, I do love this movie, and I think it's going to bring in a lot of people. I think Sinners is going to be pretty popular. I don't think it's going to be as popular as, say, some of the other IPs. I think I said this on the last sort of impromptu video I did, but I do not have insider information anymore. I sort of cut all those people off. I sort of don't run myself in those circles anymore. So basically what I know of the event is what you guys know. Basically what's online, what people are chatting about. I still try to stay out of the forums, but it's mostly like what's on like TikTok and Instagram and what people are saying. So I really have no idea what's coming this year or how they're gonna, do stuff or whatever. But if what I've heard about the IPs this year is true, then I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the IPs. I think this might be one of the least anticipated years I have for IPs, if this is indeed the case. I don't think there's a whole lot of IPs that sort of grab my attention this year. That being said, Sinners does sort of fit that mold a little bit in terms of, I love Sinners. Sinners is, I cannot, I've already sung its praises enough in the first couple minutes of this video, but Sinners is such a cinematic achievement of a film. It's incredibly well directed, acted. Michael B. Jordan deserved that Oscar over Timothy Chalamet. You know, I didn't really like Marty Supreme all that much, and I didn't think that. You know, the main problem. I'm not going to make this about movies, but the main problem with Marty Supreme for me was that character was just so unlikable, and I think that, you know, outside of the film, I don't think Chalamet did himself any favors because it just made him unlikable. But you know, the performance in Marty Supreme was fine, but I thought what Michael B. Jordan did in that film, you know, playing the two roles, you know, or really more than two roles. It's really three roles because you have, you know, normal guys, and then you've got the vampire version, and then you've got, you know, so it's normal. It's like three roles that he had to pull off in that film, which, you know, I think was incredible. But anyway, I like the idea of Sinners coming. I just have some reservations about how they're going to pull it off. I don't want it to fall into sort of a Darkest Deal rehash, which could be the easy way out for the team to sort of do like a Darkest Deal, you know, little rehash, because it does have Darkest Deal vibes. You know, obviously, it does sort of fit that same mold. You know, the music and the supernatural elements, and, you know, with the juke joint and stuff like that. Like, it does sort of fill that same mold. But I love the film so much that I am excited to see it come. I just have reservations about exactly, you know, how they pull it off, what they do. You know, who knows? Maybe we could actually get a surprise. I know, like, the celebrities like to go to the Hollywood version because it's in Hollywood, so it's easier. But they like to go over to the Hollywood version. Maybe over in Hollywood, you get to see Michael B. Jordan actually in the maze. Would he do that? Is Michael B. Jordan cool enough to physically go in the maze, which we've had actors do before? Lupita Nyong'o, for example, she was in the Us house as a scare actor. So, you know, will Michael B. Jordan do that? You know, I would love to maybe have some of that vibe come over to Orlando sometimes. You know, let's get some of the actors in the Orlando houses, you know, who play these roles. I think that would be cool to see. Nevertheless, like I said, they do tend to go to Hollywood all the time, so, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so I've been rambling a little bit. I love Sinners. I'm excited to see it come to the event. I do have reservations about how they do it, what it looks like, because, I mean, obviously, you know, with some of the criticisms about it being like in one location and stuff like that, like, Universal's done it before. They took on that challenge with The Exorcist, obviously. The Exorcist, I like The Exorcist house. I know the original. We're talking about the original at this moment in time. I liked what they did there and how they were able to pull that off. I thought they did a pretty good job. Even something like The Shining. I mean, The Shining takes place in one location, but obviously the Overlook Hotel is much bigger. You have a lot more opportunities to do many different things with the Overlook Hotel. Whereas like something like Sinners is basically in this one little it's in the juke joint. So that's pretty much all. That's pretty much the entire film. I mean, yes, there are other locations such as, you know, there's like there's the train station. There's I forget the character's name, but the you know, the house that he goes to visit. But for the most part, most of the film takes place in the juke joint. And the vampire stuff takes place in the juke joint. So yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, for them to pull it off successfully, but I have faith that it will be fun. You know, we'll see. But anyway, so like I said, another little impromptu video here talking a little bit about Sinners and about how much I love that film. If you have not seen Sinners, I would highly give it a watch. It is a longer, it's on the longer side in terms of films, but it is a unique sort of genre vampire film that blends all these different elements, which is it's fantastic. The one scene alone, those who've seen the film, you know, I think know what I'm talking about. The scene in the juke joint with the music, that was just incredible. And I watched that at home. I watched that movie at home, and it still had, you know, the same impact as if I would have watched it in a movie theater. So, you know, it was just that film was incredible. So I am very much looking forward to how they pull this off. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Happy Sunday, everybody. Like I said, I'm trying to do a little bit more of these, maybe more impromptu, so I don't have to set things up. I don't have the time anymore. I don't have the time to edit shit. I don't have the time. So, you know, one sort of single take thing could work. I mean, it's long. It's 10 minutes. I'm still talking for 10 minutes, even without the editing. It is what it is. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe see you on the next announcement.